Should be getting there. There we go. Boom. All right, folks. Welcome to the Mañana morning check-in. Today is Friday. It is December 16th, 2021. And fantabulous day. Is fantabulous a word? I don't know, but I say it all the time. And here's why. It's Friday, and it's not because the weekend is coming, but Fridays are generally the day that I get to spend the morning with my son. And my son Hayden's 14 now. And I go over the John Maxwell A Leader's Heart book with him. It's a 365 day devotional journal, and we go through it. And so once a week, him and I get together and we kind of study this book for just a little bit. I don't make a big burden out of it, right? He's 14, but he's got a book on Heroes of the Bible devotional. And so we go out and we get a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, usually at Panera Bread Company. Panera Bread Company sponsored a Ducati racer last year. So whenever I get the opportunity to go out and support Panera, I support them because they support what I love. And I hope that continues into next year. The bike was looking really good last year too. But in any case, I get to start out the day that way, which I really, really enjoy. To see, both kids here at home with me are just growing and maturing in a way that is an affirmation of decisions made in the past. And so it's really cool to see that maturity, because there's a time, and I don't know if everyone goes through this, but there was a time while I was bringing up these kids where I'm like, this doesn't seem to be working. What is the deal? Like, I'm not getting a return on my investment. Like if this was a business, this business would be losing. And not saying that they were horrible kids. It's not like the police were knocking on the door every weekend, but just weren't seeing fruits or not seeing results of things. And over the last year and a half, 2 years, and granted, the environment now is creating maybe the opportunity to mature more quickly. But both kids have just really come out of their shells and done really well. Hayden's in the Boy Scouts now. And I'm going to say, I think that is lending a little bit of accountability and responsibility to his overall presentation, which has been really, really good. Now, about things that have me over the moon. I put out a mass email to people that are part of the Power Sports Academy, but Power Sports Academy, let me get that in there. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and open up that page. I'm not going to show you the dashboard. I'll show you the actual page. But what I did here was we released a bunch of new things. Now, this is a result of listening to people. So part of this daily message that I do with you guys is to share in techniques and things that I believe work, things that I believe need attention. Now, in order for me to be a good leader, I have to be willing to admit when I make mistakes. So I'm just going to call it like it is. When I first made the Power Sport Academy, I made this assumption that, hey, I'll build it and they'll come. I'm Kurt Von On it. If I'm working in the power sports industry, people are just going to show up. So I built a training website for service writers and service managers called the Power Sport Academy. If you listen to this channel, you've heard me say it before. But I was basically selling people, if you owned a dealership and you had 3 or 4 people to train, you're looking like $11,000 to get started in the program. And to take people from zero, not 1,100, 11,000, take people from zero to $11,000, hey, just give me your credit card number. We'll swipe that for $11,000. For the first year and a half, I was like, well, I just don't have a high enough number of people jumping into that. And so what you're looking at here is the new site. We released this just this week. And, we still talk about minimizing service complaints, increasing revenue, how to work with the factory, not for the factory, raise a team of leaders. My training is largely based in communication and leadership to change the culture of the dealer and raise parts and labor sales that way. I'm a John Maxwell certified team member, so I put that onto the site. We advertise and we work with other professionals in the industry because we founded the Power Sports Roundtable through this project. And so people that are in power sports, they may have heard of the Power Sports Roundtable, but they might not have realized it was part of the Power Sport Academy. And then we've got a way for people to, schedule a strategy session with us to go over, pick kind of a critique or a needs assessment of their own store. We are available mobile, laptop, or in person. We'll come and see you at your dealership. And then we've got a thing here says, let's just get creative. What I like about what we do at the Power Sports Academy is we keep it flexible. So do I have a training curriculum? Yes. We can go to the course catalog and we can say, hey, is there a training curriculum? Yes, absolutely. There's a curriculum. I've got these 4 courses here that create the core of what the Power Sports Academy teaches as far as process and ideology. However, we also have one-on-one coaching, and that one-on-one coaching is kind of the cement that holds everything together. And so if we look at membership options, we have changed things quite a bit. We have ways for people to just pay by the month, right? One person per month, boom, through. You can pay for that person annually and save a few $100. You can sign up your whole dealership, or and pay for it for the whole year. Or what we've done is we've broken it up now into either monthly access or quarterly access based on training your whole team. So we're not asking people for $11,000 up front anymore. We're saying, hey, we understand, you might be a small to medium sized business and you got to budget things out, and you've got to make sure that you're spending, that your budget matches what you're doing for that part of the year for you. And so, we've got different payment capabilities for dealers to take advantage of our program and still get access to everything. And as you can see, everything in the website's been kind of branded and kept together, still using that, kind of that white and blue as the core theme, still using the helmet as our main icon. And what's cool about this is we're doing events, and the events aren't restricted to members anymore. The events are now open. So anyone that's a service writer or a service manager can jump into our webinar that'll be on December 27th. Now, I picked that on purpose. It's December 27th, 8 o'clock in the morning. Most dealerships are going to be closed that day. And what I'm looking for is people that are go-getters. I'm not looking to train people that aren't into it. I'm looking to train people that are go-getters, that want to be successful. And so your dealership's probably going to be closed, but I opened up this seminar. It's only from 8 to 9:30. It's 90 minutes, and it's going to be free form. Do I have subject matter to discuss? Absolutely. But I want to make sure we do a lot of Q&A and make it interactive so that we can be free formed, almost like a non-agenda open format, and really answer questions to meet the needs of the people there. And of course, right in the website, you've got a way to join the meeting right there. And so I am completely stoked to do this with as many dealers as possible. Let's just get right to it. I personally believe that, especially during COVID, that customer service has really taken it on the chin. I mean, I go to the coffee shop, I go, get bagels, I go, why is everything with me food related? But, go to Walmart, go to Sam's Club, go to, oh my gosh, Target, Kohl's. I can't say Old Navy, because I got great service at Old Navy the other day, tremendous service at Old Navy. And there was a store next to Old Navy called Tilly's down here in Corona, and I got really good service there. So it's not hopeless, right? It's not hopeless, but people need to work with their staff. People need to know how to do communication and leadership. And even if I'm talking to a dealership owner that knows all this stuff, because it happens, right? I think of guys like, Jeff Nash, right, down at AMS Dallas. I think of guys like Johnny Chef up in Chicago. John Beldock out in Colorado. David Lilliard. I'm just, Paul Bundy. I'm all these names are kind of popping up in my head right now. And I'm thinking, these are guys that I know that are solid. These are guys that I know, as dealer principals, as dealer owners, they know what to do. They know their jobs, right? Like, it's their business. They know it. But here's the problem. The problem is they don't have the patience, the bandwidth, or dare I say, they don't have the process or I'll just say ability, right, to work with their staff directly to train their staff in everything that they know. They just don't have it. Some of these dealer owners are getting pulled in, 20 different directions with people trying to sell them stuff every other day. If they've got multiple brands, then they've got people from every brand calling them, emailing them, sending them books to read, sending them a PDF, sending them another technical service bulletin they got to know about, sending them a new sales program, and if they don't optimize that sales program, they might lose 1.5 or 2%, on the wholesale end of that, retail bonus incentive. And so they've got so many things distracting them and bogging them down from the ability to work with their own staff and train their own staff. And that's where Power Sports Academy comes in. Power Sports Academy works directly with their staff, works with service writers and service managers primarily. We work with other people too, but primarily service writers and service managers. And we look at things from a communication and leadership perspective first. We want to fix or restore as much culture as we can internally in that fixed operations department. And we also work on the relationship between sales and service and parts and service. But the thing is to get that culture fixed, once the culture's fixed, it's just like magic. It opens up, it's like the latch key. It just opens up the opportunity to be able to, instill process and instill procedure that lends itself to productivity and efficiency. Now, if communication's good and leadership is good and the culture's fixed, and then you have productivity and efficiency measures in place, and the demand grows through the increased relationship with consumers, right? Imagine the demand grows and you've already got processes and procedures in place to deal with that extra demand. All of a sudden, you have a store that might go from 54, 55% efficiency to 78, 80% efficiency. And when you break that down at, $130, $140, $150 an hour in labor, and then compensate for the parts that might be associated with those labor dollars, it turns into $500,000 for a year or $800,000 for a year. And that's the return on investment. That's the goal, right? It's a year training process. And then a lot of our dealers just re-up, right? In the motorcycle industry, there's a lot of turnover, and it's unfortunate, but there is a lot of turnover. But we've noticed that people that go through the training, one of the side effects is that their turnover also reduces, which allows them to be more productive for a longer period of time as a business without having to constantly onboard new employees. And so it works really, really, really well. I'm super excited about it. And what I'm really excited about is we've added a couple of elements. So now it's not just about selling the courses and the monthly coaching, but now we do what we call a service sales strategy session. So it's a 90-minute Zoom call, but we've got some homework that the dealer does before the call. And so we've got the service sales strategy session for 90 minutes. And so we've got that we offer to the dealers. And then we've got on-site needs assessments. On-site needs assessments take a little planning because I got to figure out how I'm going to get to their location. But if you've been paying attention, you know that we're working on travel vehicle, travel plans, and all that. And so we're going to try and set kind of a route around the country and go and visit as many of these dealers as possible, get these needs assessments done, to do some in-person consulting. And then of course, we'll be available for them for the virtual consulting as well, one-on-one, and to be able to support the people that become members of the Power Sport Academy. So as we come to a close at the end of this year, and this is a Mañana No Más broadcast, but I'm talking a lot about Power Sport Academy. It's because that's our number one project. That's our number one thing. And it's so cool to do that. Now, other things, we still got clients on the hook developing other, e-commerce membership and learning website packages. Love working with that stuff. The team that I've put together with Mañana No Más can do, graphics and e-learning animations, hosting automations through the website, basically integrating the new training site with maybe an existing corporate site. It's been a blast working on those types of projects. And so we are continuing to develop that as Mañana No Más. And I'm getting more and more excited about it. I am finishing the book, right? So I'm working on a book on leadership, and coincidentally have been invited to speak at Giver Marketing's Business Summit, which will be in January. I believe it's January 13th, and I'll be doing a session on leadership. So I'm very, very excited to be able to kind of, I like to focus on power sports when I can, but all of this communication and leadership and stuff that I talk about almost sound like I'm preaching about sometimes, it really is for general business purpose. And so it'll be fun to do a session with Giver Marketing and be able to be more generalized in my approach. So folks, sound like a giant commercial on a Friday, right? Usually my Friday messages are short, like go have a good weekend and go jog or go mountain biking. But we're coming up on the end of the year. And I've stressed since the beginning of the year that December almost becomes a wash, because those last 2 weeks, especially with Christmas on a weekend this year, those last 2 weeks, with the great resignation and people using their holidays and their sick time and all of that stuff, it's almost like you're not going to be able to get anything done. And so I don't want to poo-poo it. I don't want to say, well, you're not going to get anything done. You might as well sit around. Hey, I've been waiting for that call. Folks, I'm going to let you go. Have a great weekend.